Since the beginning of 2025, the Mexican state of Jalisco has had at least 8 cases classified as feminicidio, that is, crimes targeting women solely because of their gender, showing that this violence is getting worse in this country. The danger can happen to any woman, even an influencer. In mid-July 2025, the city of Japopan was shaken by the passing of beauty blogger Valeria Marques. She was shot dead on Livestream, leaving many people terrified. The perpetrator had planned to lure the victim before, by continuously giving her gifts to attend the Valencia concert, then decisively hit her in the face and chest with many candies before escaping. The incident happened in a flash, shocking thousands of spectators. So what was the situation at that time? And who was the culprit behind this daring murder? As usual, before getting into the main content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for the real case. And now, let's get started. Japopan City is jokingly called by Mexicans as Silicon Valley version 11. Because of its vibrant startup ecosystem and the presence of many global technology corporations, this place attracts a series of electronic software companies such as Yline, Jolitech, MyFin, and a highly qualified young workforce to prestigious universities. Not only is it thriving in technology, Japopan also holds its own charm, with its vibrant squares, rich Mexican cuisine, and downtown atmosphere. This is a promising destination for the future of creativity and innovation. However, like everywhere else in Mexico, gender violence is still present in Japopan. Many cases of violence and targeting women have become a dark side to haunt Mexico in general, and this city in particular. By mid-May 2025, that polar aspect was once again sparked by a shocking incident on Livestream. Everything returns to 6:30 p.m. on October 13, 2025. The 911 emergency switchboard in Japopan receives a series of panicked calls. Many horrified witnesses said there was an armed attack at Blossom, the beauty lock salon. Someone who was calmer said that he was watching TikTok when he saw with his own eyes the live stream of this salon. Owner suddenly interrupted. The frame flickered and then went out. They quickly informed nearby acquaintances or called the police directly. Meanwhile, at the commercial area where the salon is located, the sound of a gun being fired attracted a security guard. He went to check and discovered a gruesome scene. A young woman lies motionless on the red syrup-stained floor. The guard shouted to the people around to call for help, while he tried to get closer to see if the victim was still alive. Just then, another girl in the shop named Erica, her face pale, rushed out of the door, trembling, saying that the attacker had escaped on a motorbike. She was the one who quickly turned off the live stream, right after the candies were given out. Minutes later, local police and ambulance staff arrived. The scene was chaotic, with ambulance sirens blaring. Curious people gathered in increasing numbers around the police cordon. Inside Blossom the beauty lock, a mournful scene hangs over the everyday beauty supplies. The victim lay on her back on the floor next to the reception desk, surrounded by blood. She was hit by candy mainly in the face and chest, leading to severe blood loss. Despite the efforts of medical staff to help her get to the emergency room, she did not survive. Near the girl's hand, everyone noticed a pink stuffed animal covered in blood, which seemed to have been held by the victim before she fell. On the table was a tilted glass of pale pink Starbucks. The drink inside spilled out along with the broken glass. Both the teddy bear and the glass of water immediately attracted the attention of investigators. They do not resemble the items available at the party, and are likely to be gifts brought to the victim. The room showed no signs of a major disturbance or commotion, including that the victim had not resisted or been on guard before being attacked. On the other hand, there were a few shell casings on the floor, from which it could be determined that the murder weapon was a small-sized revolver. Investigators quickly collected these shell casings to serve ballistic examination, particularly on the corner of the wall. A CCTV camera quietly pointed its lens down to the reception area, where the incident took place. If the camera was working, there's a good chance the attack would have been recorded. Immediately, the police sealed the CCTV data storage device for analysis. Outside the store, security forces also extracted the city's C5 camera and cameras from neighboring stores. hoping to capture images of the suspect fleeing. The first witnesses, including an employee named Erica, who was present at the scene, were separated for urgent testimony. Looking at the overall picture, the perpetrator acted quickly and escaped, leaving no message or stealing any property. So the investigation team was able to immediately determine that this was a murder case with a hostile nature. However, the motive for the crime and the identity of the perpetrator remain a big mystery. What did this girl do to deserve such a tragic end? In order to gradually uncover the mystery of the case, determining the victim's identity and circle of relationships is extremely important. The investigation team will use that as a clue to find potential suspects, thereby narrowing down the scope. Although the young woman did not carry any identification documents with her, finding her identity was not a big obstacle. Just minutes later, a clip of the interrupted live stream was spread on social media. Many people recognized the victim as a famous influencer named Valeria. At the scene, employee Erica, who witnessed the whole incident, also provided the police with important information that the victim was Valeria Marques Lopez, 23 years old, owner of Blossom the Beauty Lock, and a member, a familiar face on TikTok and Instagram. A quick check of the victim's data, security cameras and phone confirmed this. Online, she often uses the name Marques to interact with her nearly 200,000 followers. Although the victim's identity is known, investigative regulations require police to notify and confirm with her family before releasing information to the press. That night, relatives of Malaysia Valencia were invited to come for identification. Heartbreakingly, her parents almost collapsed when they saw their daughter on the examination table. From here, the police also got a deeper insight into Valencia's personality. She was born on May 14, 2002, in the state of Jalisco. At the age of 23, Valeria has built her own career as both a beauty pageant model and a young entrepreneur who owns the beauty salon, Blossom the Beauty Lock. She won the Miss Rostro 2021 title, a local beauty pageant, which launched her into fame in the fashion world. Taking advantage of Valeria's reputation to develop her personal brand on social networks, she actively works as a beauty blogger, sharing about makeup, home care, and lifestyle. On Instagram, Valeria's account has nearly 100,000 followers, while her TikTok attracts more than 90,000 fans, thanks to her beauty tutorials and behind-the-scenes videos of her luxurious life. Valeria's online career provides her with a good income. She decided to invest in opening Blossom the Beauty Lock, a small beauty salon located on Servitor Publico Avenue, Japopan City. The shop she owns, and is also an advertising model, attracts a steady stream of customers, mostly young people who admire her. In the eyes of friends and relatives, Valeria is an active, extroverted, and ambitious girl. She lives with her family in Lajara, but is financially independent. What is special is that Valeria rarely makes public her family life. On the internet, she only posts personal photos, work photos, and luxury trips, rarely mentioning her parents or lover. No one expected that the life of a beautiful and successful girl would suddenly end tragically. Valeria Dujay left behind her parents, grandparents, and a whole community of shocked and sad fans. Valeria's grandfather, whom she loved dearly, was only informed that his granddaughter had had an accident and had to be rushed to the hospital. When he learned the truth that his grandson was beaten right in his shop, the grandfather was so shocked that he was speechless. He shared in tears. At first, I thought it was just a minor accident. I know nothing. And now, the only thing the family hopes for is justice to be served, which is the responsibility and also the motivation for the investigation agency. However, Valeria Marques' circle of friends is quite healthy. She once hinted online that she was single, focusing on developing her career and also living a pretty exemplary life, not in debt to anyone. Therefore, the fact that she became the victim of a murder case made the investigation team wonder. Was there something in Valeria's past or personal life that led to her suicide? For now, due to many suspicious points, the authorities can only determine that this is a murder case with signs of femininity, meaning that the attack on women was motivated by gender or a close relationship. This is a common denominator in many cases where the victims are women in Mexico. At the same time, the police have eliminated most of the remaining possible motives for the crime. However, the current focus is on finding more evidence to support this approach. At the scene, police recovered 3 rounds of the same type of ammunition. A quick examination showed that all were fired from a small caliber revolver. Maybe the dot. .38 is the type favored by assassins because it is easy to hide and leaves few bullets behind. Forensic technicians took detailed photos of the scene, focusing on the victim's position, angle, and distance. Preliminary results show that the perpetrator attacked from a close distance of about 1 meter, aiming straight at the victim's face. This matches witness accounts of the attacker standing opposite the victim, talking, and then suddenly pulling out a weapon and pulling the grass. The location of the wounds showed that the perpetrator intended to disfigure and certainly kill the victim. There is another common sign in misogynistic hate crimes. In addition, the pink teddy bear and Starbucks at the scene also received special attention. They are put in sealed bags and sent to labs to look for fingerprints or DNA of the person who touched them. This hypothesis suggests that this is a gift brought by the perpetrator to approach the victim, which will most likely leave fingerprints. In addition, the police also brought back the victim's cell phone. The device live-streamed the entire incident. Even though the victim had turned off the microphone before being attacked, the phone still recorded important images. It was the silhouette of a man approaching her and briefly appearing on the live broadcast for a few seconds. This guy's face was quickly revealed on the screen before the video ended, and thousands of netizens were able to save it. The investigation team then collected this video from the internet to analyze the image of the perpetrator. However, the quality of the live stream video is not high. The angle of the camera is tilted, so identification is difficult. The suspect's face was only visible through a mask and a baseball cap. Therefore, images from security cameras in the shop and around can be of further assistance. As expected, a dash cam from a nearby store captured a man wearing a black shirt and insurance leaving the salon, and then jumping on a small motorbike and driving away. This guy is about 170 tall and rides a motorbike without a license plate. C5 traffic camera data also recorded a similar motorbike leaving the scene at 6:31 p.m. the same day, heading towards Guadalupe Avenue. Since these clues emerged, the police concluded that the perpetrator acted alone and escaped within less than 2 to 3 minutes of committing the crime. Next, witness testimony also helped to clarify some details. The most important witness was Eric, 22, a nail technician at the salon, the only person with Valeria when she was attacked. On the evening of the 13th, at the Japopan police headquarters, Erica, in a state of panic, tried to recount what happened. Her narration helps to build a thrilling scenario. For about 40 minutes, the attack had a series of unusual events that occurred overnight. According to Erica, before Valeria arrived at the store, there was probably a man disguised as a shipper who came to Valeria and said he wanted a special basket of goods to hand to her. Erica said Valeria hadn't arrived yet and offered to pick up the package, but the man refused, saying he would come back later when Valeria was there. He asked what time she would arrive, if she would come back today, then left without leaving anything. This detail made the investigators particularly interested. It was obvious that someone had deliberately lured Valeria into appearing to deliver the mysterious gift. Erica continued to state that when Valeria came to the shop that afternoon, she told Valeria about the strange shipper story. Hearing this, Valeria looked very worried. She turned to Erica and exclaimed, "Oh my God, they might be trying to kill me." That half-joking, half-serious remark turned out to be a fateful feeling. Valeria had such a premonition of imminent danger that she told her live stream viewers that she would go home early because she felt something unspeakable. But at that moment, a situation happened that made her stay. The gifts kept coming. Erica said that while Valeria was live streaming, 3 people entered and exited the shop one after another. First was a young man bringing a pink Starbucks cup with the name Valeria on it. Said someone ordered it for her. A few minutes later, a young girl appeared and gave Valeria a very cute pink teddy bear. And finally, Another middle-aged man in a delivery uniform walked in holding a small box as if to continue delivering something. Valeria was skeptical, but took the glass of water and teddy bear, "Thank you," and put it on the table to show off to millions of viewers on the steering wheel. Along with Erica's testimony, the police also checked the victim's phone to find out if she received any strange messages or calls before she left. Sure enough, they discovered that while Valeria was live streaming, she received many messages from a friend named Vivian. These messages further shed some light on the scenario. That day, Vivian urged Valeria not to leave the shop yet, saying that her fans had prepared a big surprise for her, so she should wait to see her reaction on live. Valeria even shared this on Livestream. The investigator read the message and couldn't help but gasp. It was clear that Vivian had no idea that she had unwittingly helped keep Valeria alive at the exact moment death struck. And who knows, Vivian might be an accomplice too. So the police took this person in for questioning. They later discovered that just days before she was killed, Valeria had had a heated online argument with Vivian. In a leaked chat between the two on social media, Vivian said, "I will kill you," as a threat. Valeria also responded sarcastically. However, Vivian explained that it was just a heated exchange of words, and she had no real intention of harming her friend. The two have since reconciled. She said that on the night of the murder, she only texted Valeria to stay at the store to receive the surprise, not knowing there was any plot. Indeed, apart from random online messages and arguments, the police also found no evidence to directly accuse VVN. Next, investigators must also consider the possibility that the suspect comes from the salon's staff or acquaintances. It should be remembered that the perpetrator entered and exited the shop quite naturally, like an acquaintance, and knew the victim's face well, so it cannot be ruled out that an accomplice assisted from inside. The person with the most tattoos was Erica, the only employee present. After the video of the incident went viral, some netizens expressed doubts. They said Erica reacted too calmly when she saw her friend being attacked. On May 26th, a YouTube channel specializing in sensational crime news released an anonymous witness claiming that Erica was the one who attacked the victim. The unnamed woman claims to have seen Erica pull out a weapon and sell Valeria at close range, then stage a fake scene with outsiders. This shocking information forced the police to respond, calling on witnesses to come forward and report directly instead of just appearing online, with the emphasis that the investigation agency is very cautious about unverified rumors on social networks. Indeed, investigators found the theory that Africa was the murderer unconvincing, because there was no motive and no murder. Weapon was found on her. Thus, suspicion focused on close friends and associates were gradually eliminated due to lack of evidence. The investigation returned to the original hypothesis that the killer came from outside and had carefully prepared to kill Valeria. From here, Jalisco police turned their attention to a completely unexpected piece of information provided by a foreign source, namely El Joba, the alias of criminal informant Ricardo Ruiz Velasco of the CJNG state. He is a leader of Grupo Elite, the elite armed unit of the CJNG gang. He is known for his brutal personality and great power in the organization as the right-hand man of boss Nemesio, Jose Ruera Svantes. In the past, Joba was accused of directing many bloody killings and kidnappings in the western region of Mexico. On June 18, 2025, more than a month after the case, the U.S. Treasury Department announced sanctions against a CJNG leader. In this announcement, the U.S. side unexpectedly named Joyce and Velasco as the main suspects behind Valeria Marquez's case, and also revealed shocking information that Valeria was said to be Joba's girlfriend. Faced with this shocking news, Jalisco state investigators were cautious. Prosecutor Gonzalez spoke out on June 20th, asserting that we do not have any evidence linking Joboa to the case. He said he had asked the U.S. side to provide more information to verify the source of the news, and that Mexican investigative agencies were ready to cooperate with the federal government to clarify the truth. However, Mr. Gonzalez also admitted that he could not completely rule out the possibility that Joboa was involved. It's just that there's no data in the records to show that yet. Meanwhile, Jalisco State Governor Pablo Limos revealed that the police have 3 main lines of investigation and have taken statements from over 30 witnesses, but there is not enough evidence to request an arrest warrant for anyone. That means that after more than a month, the case has not had any breakthrough progress, despite enormous pressure. While the main lines of investigation were at a standstill, an incident on the 19th of the month opened up new hope. That afternoon, nearly a week after the murder, a bouquet of red roses suddenly appeared in front of Blossom's shop, with a white ribbon with the word "Pawn" written in capital letters. People discovered it and immediately reported it to the police because they thought it could be a message from the dog killer. Sure enough, the authorities cordoned off the beauty salon area and invited the forensic team to handle the bouquet. They carefully collected fingerprints on the wrapping paper and the certificate, and traced the origin of the bouquet. The bouquet consisted of 24 red roses, wrapped in black paper and bordered with white lace. Quite elaborate. From there, the police found a witness, Mr. Fernando, a flower delivery man, who was the one who brought the flower cow to place in front of the shop. Fernando said that he received a flower delivery order from an anonymous customer. The task was just to place the flowers at the designated address and take pictures as proof of completion of the job. He had no idea who placed the order, just followed the application. The clues stopped there. But police said they are continuing to track down the IP address or phone number that ordered this flower service. Even though this may be just a prank, the investigation team cannot ignore it. They still see the bouquet as potential evidence. In the room, the expert meticulously separated each fingerprint on the wrapping paper. They admitted this was not easy, because the bouquet could have passed through many hands. But if you are lucky, you can get a unique handwriting sample during transportation. According to some sources, the press and police found that flower shop, but the user used a fake name and paid in cash. Faced with public pressure and the impasse of the current authorities, the Jalisco and federal governments both decided to intervene. President Claudia Calm directly instructed the security cabinet to coordinate with local authorities to solve these cases. Intelligence agencies and federal police assisted in analyzing telecommunications data around the scene, checking to see if the suspect's phone was in any contact in the area at that time. The victim's call and text messages from previous weeks were also checked for signs of threats or blackmail. Especially with the suspicion of being involved with the CJNG gang, the authorities cannot take it lightly. Federal police and military are on standby in case of need to capture dangerous criminals. However, as of September this year, no public warrant or arrest warrant has been issued, and all that is known is that this was a premeditated murder. The perpetrator had carefully monitored and planned to attack the victim's psychology. He may be a cold-blooded killer, but he also showed a lot of weakness through the apology flower incident. This case thus continues to test the resolve of the Jalisco State Judiciary. As of September this year, the case has not yet entered the trial stage because no specific suspect has been found for prosecution. However, we can imagine the scenario if the perpetrator is caught and brought to court. Under Mexico's legal framework, this is a particularly serious crime. The penalty can be up to 50 years in prison or life imprisonment without early sentence reduction. The case of Valeria being classified from the beginning shows the authorities' determination to deal with it seriously. In the event that El Hoboa is found to be involved, the trial could reach extremely high security levels. At that time, in addition to the crime of femicide, the perpetrator can be prosecuted for the additional crime of organizing a criminal act to terrorize the community. Conversely, if the perpetrator is an ordinary individual, such as an acquaintance, the trial will delve into the defendant's personal motives and criminal responsibility. And the Mexican public is eagerly waiting for the day when the evil man must appear in court and plead guilty, so that Valeria can rest in peace. Will that day come soon, or will the case file continue to drag on hopelessly? No one can be sure yet. The Valeria Marques case has left strong repercussions in many ways. This is a wake-up call about violence against women and children in Mexico. Valeria was not the only female victim this year, but the way she was murdered live on air in front of tens of thousands of people has become a symbol of the recklessness and brutality of the crime. Within hours of the news spreading on social media, users from all over expressed outrage and grief. Many women share their fears for their safety in a dangerous society. Justice for Valeria is still pending, and that justice will only be complete when Mexican women can live their lives without fear of the lurking specter of violence. Who do you think is the evil enemy behind this case? Why did he do that? Please leave your comments below in the comment section, and like and subscribe to The Real Case to not miss the latest videos.